Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramakrishna. Let us begin with our usual prayers. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansajanodravardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Welcome to this study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita for practical life. We are now studying chapter 2. We have come up to verse 30. Just to recapitulate briefly, Bhagavan Sri Krishna was trying to motivate Arjuna to complete the battle. This necessity came up because Arjuna was, just before he came to the battlefield, he was fully motivated to do the battle. He and his brothers, all of them were very eager to complete the battle, not only participating in the battle, but also hoping for a win, because Sri Krishna is with them. So with the hope that they will gain victory in the battle, it fully motivated Arjuna was there to fight. But what happened when the chariot was placed before the two armies, in between the two armies, and when Arjuna saw who are all standing in that war field, suddenly his mind changed. Now he doesn't want to fight. So our Vyasadeva says that he sat down, telling Sri Krishna, I shall not fight. And he says that I am so terrified at the thought of killing my own kin and kith. That is also not a big thing for him. What is big thing is, by killing my own kin and kith, I will be incurring sins. And that sin cannot be washed off anywhere. Fearful of the sin that he is going to commit, he is now telling Bhagavan that I shall not fight. Now, how to motivate a person who has completely gone down, depressed, despondent, and sat down, and he says he will not do his duty? That was the dilemma. And Krishna saw and seized this opportunity to tell him certain things. And that is called, started as the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. So the Sankhya Yoga speaks about something beyond the body and mind. Generally, we are proud to say that we are spiritual. The people who are sitting here, the people who go to temples, the people who worship, the people who do or good charitable work, noble works, they don't consider themselves as materialistic as opposed to spiritualism. They all consider themselves as spiritual people. We are not materialistic people, we are spiritual people. So what is the difference between a materialistic attitude and a spiritual attitude? The materialistic man has got three convictions. He says, this world is real. For him, whatever you say that this world is unreal, he shall not buy that argument. Why he is telling and convinced that this world is real? The second point comes. The second point is that if he is a materialist, then he will say that all those experiences through the five senses are correct. Now when he feels that what I see by my eyes is right, if I see this as a glass, it is a glass. It cannot be anything else. So whatever I use any of my senses, sense organs, and that senses which capture the outside objects, they are all real. Thirdly, nothing beyond this. If there is anything beyond this, that is only a figment of imagination. It is not real. Now compare him to a spiritual person. A spiritual person who claims he is a spiritual or who is leading a spiritual life will always say that this world is changing. It has the quality of changefulness. It doesn't remain at one point ever like this. So the world is always changing. A spiritual person will say. And he will say, what I see through the five sense organs and what I capture through the five sense organs are not real, are only coupled with my imagination. They appear to be what I want to have. That means if I want to see a particular object as a glass, I should see it as a glass, even though it may be something. So for that, lot of examples are given in science. The physicists, they bring us that they show that one big example, very good example is the sunset. You go to a place where sunset is clearly visible and sit, and then or in the mountains. So, and you sit there and you look, and all the mountain range is like this, and there is a big gorge and the sun is setting, and it is like a red orange color it has come, and we say the sun is setting. It is 6:30 p.m. and about 7 minutes it stays like that, and it is set. Now the sun is not visible, so it goes slowly on the horizon and completely disappears. But what the scientists are telling to us, you are a fool. You say that you are seeing the orange sun. It is not there. It is visible to the eyes, mind you. But they say 7 minutes before the sun is already set. The light from the sun is coming. It takes 7 minutes to reach the earth. And that's why now you are seeing the sun is setting, but actually the sun is already set. That is the biggest example how our eyes can deceive. Because light takes some time to reach you. So, like that, likewise in all sense organs, you can see that it is wonderful to see that this world, what we see, is not the same. So, Sri Ramakrishna beautifully gives, a Musalman will say for water, pani, a Hindu will say jalam, and a Christian will say water, and a scientist will say it aqua. He will not same item from different perspectives people see. So certain things we all of us see in one way. How that happens? If what I want to see, I see, then how is it everyone is seeing like that? That is because our mind is conditioned. We have been told to see this as a glass. So everyone from childhood we have been told, trained, so we see it as glass. So a child is told that this is God's place. It's a temple. Namo namo karo, like that we say. Bow down, so the child bows down. Suppose you don't teach the child will grow up without bowing down. So like that, our mind is conditioned from childhood onwards. The same thing where you go, which is not declared as a temple, which is not used as a temple, you are not going to bow down. Recently when I was in Indonesia, I was in Jakarta, so I went to see a Divine Mother temple. They said there is a beautiful Divine Mother temple. I was very happy. And everywhere on the roads, on the partitions of the roads, I find a lot of, you all must have gone and you might have seen that, lot of statues are there of Indra, Varuna, even Hanuman, and all the devatas, Hindu devatas, whom we all know very easily and we can identify, like Saraswati. Everywhere Saraswati statues. Many Saraswati statues I saw. So when they said that Swamiji, there is a Divine Mother temple on the top of a hill, I said, okay. So I was very happy and I took nice flowers, that hibiscus red flowers collected in a plastic bag. I said, I will go there and worship the feet of the Divine Mother. But when I went there, there's a huge line. We all have to go line by line on the serpentine queue, and I also stood in the queue, and we proceeded to the top of the mountain. It took about 10 minutes only. When we went to the mountain, there's a huge, that statues are there outside, the devatas, the angels, the statues are there. So seeing that architecture, wondering that, I entered inside. And inside, as what they call sanctum, there is nothing. No image of any goddess. It's a vacant space. As I was disappointed, like that people on that day, I don't know how it is, there were many tourists from India had come. And they were speaking Hindi. So I could understand. And they also asked me in Hindi. So I also replied to them in Hindi. So they were all standing next to me. And they said, where is the Divine Mother? There is no image. We are all accustomed. When you go to a Shivan temple or Perumal temple, you are all accustomed to see images of gods and goddesses. But there is no image. So all of them were stunned. And then they looked at me as if I am expert on that. They are asking me, Swamiji, what happened? There is nothing is here. So anyway, I have to manage the situation. So I told them, you are all Hindus. Is it not? They said, yes. We are all Hindus. Hinduism believes God in form and God without form. So here people worship God without form. Doesn't matter anything. Mother is everywhere. Divine Mother present everywhere. So there is no image necessary for her. So the mind is, how mind is conditioned from childhood. When you go to a place which you find something contrary to what is conditioned, you are unable to accept it easily. So when I said that, and it seemed to be a very valid argument for that, so they all accepted, okay. So mind gets conditioned, and that's why the materialist will believe that what is visible, what is heard, what is tasted, and what is touched, and everything that is all ultimate truth. But a spiritual person is saying no. The five senses are deceptive. They are making deceptive every time. When we perceive anything, we should not take it as final. In Tamil, there is a beautiful proverb. Akkare, ikkare, akkare, pachai. That means you go and stand here. and there is a big river is there, and that side, the other shore, you see, all greenery. You say, wow, what a wonderful greenery. If only I can go there and see. And you take a boat and go and see. The same time here only this, that also. So it looks very green from distance. So the eyes are deceiving you. So all the five senses are like that. So a spiritualist will say, no, I shall not go by my sense organs, what it gives me into my mind. I shall want to find what is the truth behind this. And so a materialist will see that all these are truth only. There is nothing beyond. A spiritual person will say, there is something beyond this. So he will ask these questions. Then only he becomes spiritual. You know, Swamiji says, where the physics ends, then metaphysics starts. The physics is over. We have seen the world. Then the question arises, who is the controller of the world? Who has projected this world? Last week we discussed creation and projection, the difference. Who has projected this world? Is it real? So our sages have found out in the ultimate realization that this world is an appearance. It is true. So long as you see it as a world, it is real. But there is something beyond this world when you see that it is not real. So the Advaita Vedanta gives a beautiful example. It says it is a dusk time. All lights are very dim. You are walking in a small street. At that time, you suddenly see a snake 10 feet distance. And then you shout, snake, yes, snake is there. And look at it. Say 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it is not moving. So quietly it is sleeping or what? You are wondering. And then since it is not moving, you take little boldness and then go nearby. Then you look at it very carefully. Then you find it appears to be a rope. It is not a snake, because the snake face is not there. Then immediately you go nearby and sit and see it and take it in your hand. It is a rope. The moment you take it in your hand and know that it is a rope, were you having still the palpitation? No. Gone. But so long you, even for the 10 seconds, you looked at it as snake, there was a palpitation. There was a fear. And that rope appeared as a snake. Who projected that snake into the rope? Did the rope become a snake? If your eyes, what it sees, what they see is the perfect ultimate truth, then I have seen it as a snake, then it should be a snake only. But it is not. So, who projected the snake concept onto the rope? It is not the rope that did it, it is I who did it. So what I want to see, I see that. So this concept of five senses, whatever it grasps is true, is not acceptable to a spiritual person. So he wants to inquire, what is this universe? Who is behind this universe? Is there anyone who creates this universe, who sustains this universe, then who dissolves this universe? And to make us understand, our mythology comes to a great end. Every mythology, every Purana, you start first how the universe came up, how it was sustained, how it dissolved. This Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, these three things are taught in the beginning of the Purana. Any Purana you take, they will speak about this. Why? To give us a concept that don't think that world that you see is real. So Bhagavan Krishna wants to make Arjuna a spiritual person, not a materialistic person. He is telling, I am grieving, I am feeling sad. I shall not fight because I am going to incur sin by killing my kith and kin. So now Bhagavan has to motivate you. That's where the motivation comes. So immediately he motivated him on two plans. That is two levels. The first level he adopted was to tell him about the true nature of something beyond the body and mind. What was that? That is the Atman. So he spoke to him about the Atman. The Atman is indestructible. The Atman is never born. The Atman cannot die. So he was only explaining all the things about Atman. What is beyond? That is making Arjuna from the materialist point of view and raising him to the level of spirituality. So that is the great work Bhagavan Sri Krishna did in the chapter 2. By raising him, slowly, he brings him his motivation. And then he says, if you don't take into cognizance the existence of Atman, which is beyond this body and mind, even if you take the materialistic point of view of body only, and body is the truth, if you take it like that, then also you should not grieve, because whatever is born must die one day. So first attacking him from the philosophical point of view, suppose he has left him, Arjuna would not have been convinced. Neither we all would have been convinced by Krishna's teachings. What he does from verse 11 to verse 30, Krishna has been telling about the spiritual attitude towards life. Now from 31 to 36, he is going to take up another dimension of motivation. Now the second type of motivation, I said two streams. One is that spiritual stream. Now he is going to say, whatever you have gained the knowledge from me now must be put into practice. It should be practical. If whatever I told you is not practical in this life, then you will not be able to practice it. Something I say very big thing. I say that from today you all think that you are not the body. Is it possible? The moment we walk out, God forbid, and I skid and then I fall down, then I break my leg, then I will say, oh, how much pain it is there. I am body. So there's something you should not tell, which is not practicable. So Krishna now takes up the practical attitude of why he should fight. The first reason what he told was that about Atman. Atman has got no death. That is all right. And the materialistic point of view was, if you take it as a body, that body must die one day. What is inevitable? Apariharyate. Apariharya, that is the word he used. So by apariharya, you should not bother. As old age comes to us, we were all once upon a time babies, and from babies we grew, and then now we have become old. So this old age is an apariharya. It is inevitable. If it is inevitable, what is the use? Now if I start crying, oh, I have become 68. How old I have become. Like that if I start crying, will it be going to help me? No. Old age you must accept it. So likewise, if you take purely materialistic point of view of the body, then the body is getting birth, it is getting death. So for that also you should not grieve for. Tatraka paridevana, he is asking, what is the grieving for? That in that case you should not grieve for. Now telling this is called knowledge. He transferred a beautiful knowledge, a wonderful knowledge about Atman to Arjuna. Without getting into practical, that knowledge is no more of any use. Any knowledge that you receive, it must be made practical. That's why 4 lectures of Swami Vimokshananda are clubbed together, and it is called Practical Vedanta. Our Vedanta, once upon a time, was a philosophy, and it was the basis of our lives. We all, our forefathers, were all in the path of Vedanta. And then Vedanta ceased to become practical. It entered into caves. It stayed with the rishis and munis, and it never came into practical life. And that is the degeneration our India has. fantasy. Because the Vedanta was not put into practice. It was only discussed in the forest. It was discussed in the caves. It was thought of in the caves, meditated upon. But it was never brought into the practical life. So Swami Vivekananda says, I want to bring Vedanta in the fisherman's hut, he says. In the king's palaces, in the fisherman's hut, in the bazaar, where you go and purchase things, bargain things, in the bazaar. So Vedanta has to be made practically applicable. So Krishna also is aware of this. If a philosophy is given to Arjuna, that will not stand the full motivation. So he has to be told something practical. So what practical he can tell him, that is what verse 31 to 36 we are going to see. What a beautiful way he brings it to the practical life. So verse 31 we shall start. Before that, from 21 we shall chant. Please take. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Veda Vinashinam Nityam Jayena Majamavyayam Katham Sapurusha Partha Kam Ghatayati Hantikam Vasansi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya Navani Krishnati Roparani Tata Sharirani Ayajirna Anyani Sayyati Vani Dehi Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dati Pavaka Nachainam Pledayanti Apo Nasoshayati Marvita Acchedyoyam Agahyoyam Akledyo Soshayevacha Nitya Sarvagatasthanu Achaloyam Sanatana Avyaktoyam Achintyoyam Avigaryoyam Chale Tasmadevam Vidikvainam Nanusochitum Arvasi Akachainam Nityajatam Nityam Vamanyasevadam Tatapitvam Mahabhavo Nainam Shochitum Arvasi Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu Dhruvam janma mritasya cha Tasmada pariharyete Natvam Shochitum Arvasi Avyaktadini bhutani Vyaktamadhyani bharata Avyaktanidhananyeva Tatraka paridevana Ascharyavat pashyati shirenam Ascharyavat padati tatakacharya Ascharyavat chayanam srinoti Shrutva kenam nikanachaiva kaschit Dehi nityam avadyoyam Dehe sarvasya bharata Tasma sarvani bhutani Natvam shochitum arvasi. So verse 31. Swadharmam apicha veksha Navikappitum arvasi Dharmyadi yuddha shreya Anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. It's a very beautiful verse, verse 31 to 37. You'll find this. Again, looking at your own duty as well, you should not waver. For there is nothing more welcome to a Kshatriya than righteous war. So, he is bringing a very, very practical aspect of life now. Forget about this Atman and all those things. Now, who are you? You are a warrior. You have come to this battlefield with the purpose to do the battle. So a warrior, a man belonging to warrior class, what is his duty? Is it not his duty to do a work, though he may not like it? If a duty, you see, in those days, the society was very much clear-cut definition was there of a person. A person is born, a baby is born to a family, and that baby has got very little thing for himself. Very little. Even it is said in the marriage mantras that one who is getting into a wedlock is for the welfare of the society. That is how the mantras speak there. So even a marriage which he finds a girl suitable to him and then he wants to marry and settle down in a family life, no, not for you, not for your pleasure. It is for the society that you have to get into wedlock. If you want to become a monk, be a monk. But you are getting into a monkhood for the betterment of the society. That's why Swamiji devised this mantra for us, the motto of the Ramakrishna Mission. What is the motto of the Ramakrishna Mission? Anybody remembers? Atmano mokshartam jagat hitaya cha. Jagat hita. Atmano mokshartam, for my own salvation, for the welfare of the world. So, this always we are born to the society, we live in the society, we live for the society, and we die in the society. Nothing can be individualized. Even law of karma is affecting us by society only. Individual karma in Myanmar, I was asked to speak on law of karma and family values. So I took up this topic because it was a very interesting topic. In family values, you have marriage, then you get a child, and the child starts growing. Does the child's law of karma, that means this previous karmic effect, how it is going to affect the family? And does the child has got siblings? Or is only one child in a family? What is the reason? What is the law of karma behind this? And then the child grows up and gets into marriage. He settles down in the family as his father and mother did. So, what is the role of the law of karma in the bringing up the family values? So there was very interesting discussion followed by question and answer session. So I found it, people have got so much trust to know about these things. That's why our scriptures very clearly say, your individuality has got a certain limit. You cannot go beyond that. If you go beyond that, you step into the society. Yes, you got some individual freedom. That freedom is only up to what extent? As some great man, Western scholars said, your freedom is up to the length of your hand for touching the nose of the other person. Short of touching the nose of the other person, that much only freedom you are given. If I stand at 2 feet towards you and you cannot put your hand and then touch my nose, that freedom is not there. Short of touching the nose, that much only you have got the freedom. So we are all, as individuals, have got a limited freedom. Like a cow tied by a rope to a peg, Sri Ramakrishna says that. So if it is a 3-meter rope, the cow has got full freedom to go around 3 meters. 3 meters perimeter. It can go around in the circle. But beyond that, if it goes, the peg is there, it is attached to the peg, it cannot go. Like us, we all have got individual freedom, but then our life is meant for the society. So, the society was defined in those days in clear-cut terms. What is the clear-cut terms? They divided into 4 groups. A society means it must have 4 groups. There must be people who do labor, that is one group. And there must be people who must do vanij, that is business. That is exchange. Business means exchange. There must be people to exchange certain things from here to another place and fix certain rates for those exchange activity. Likewise, those who are doing labor work, they fix a particular rate for doing a labor activity. Likewise, there are people who must protect the society, and they are going to fight. And there is another group, the fourth group, which is called intellectuals. They will plan, they will do, like a man, an architect. An architect makes a big temple. It's a very big temple has to build. So an architect makes a plan. He is like that intellectual. Next comes the Kshatriya, who comes and protects. He is like an engineer. Engineer comes and finds out what is the weight of each column, what is the weight of the upper portions. All the he will calculate and find out. And there must be a wealthy man to say, oh yes, I will bear all the cost of this temple, so do it. One P.G. Pillai was there. He has passed away long back in Singapore. One of the Swamis, Swami, who is now in charge of Coimbatore Center, Abhiramananda, he was telling me, when the building of our temple was not built, we had only planned in 1948. We were planning how to make a building. So now you require funds for that. So Abhiramananda wrote down some names of the big Periya Pulli, as they call it. So some big fellows. So they wrote down the names 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they decided, the monks decided, let us go and appeal to all these very spirits. So whoever gives whatever, we shall accept. No demand. If it is Ramakrishna's will, a temple must come, it must come. So that is our always that faith we have. But then we should do our efforts also. We cannot sit quietly and then say, well, building will come. So we made a list, he said, and then he went to, first person he touched was this P.G. Pillai. He had gone to his home and 2-3 Swamis together and his wife asked him to sit. And then they served coffee, etc. He was at the time doing puja. So he finished his puja and came out. And he asked Swamiji, oh Swamiji said, very good, I am really blessed to see all the Swamis. What I can do for you? Then he took out the appeal and told him that we are thinking of doing a temple for Sri Ramakrishna. Then when he gave that, he had that list with him. So he was looking at that and he saw that there is a big list there with all the names. Then he said, what is that paper? See, he gave all the other papers. This paper he was holding in his hands. What is the other paper? He said, no, this is a list of people I am going to meet. Let me see. So he took that and read that. And he gave back. And he told him, Swamiji, you don't need to go to the second to the last. First you have come to me, I shall bear the entire cost. So he bore the entire cost. So a person is required to build a temple. An architect is there, engineer will do, and then a rich man must give the money, and then laborers come. Then you require building contractor, and he will come and has to do that. So the laborers come, they bring the cement, etc., and then they build. So in any type of job, the society cannot move on without one aspect of these 4 divisions of labor. If you minus any one, that society cannot be balanced. Even if 10 people come together and are put into an island, only 10 people are left there. If they have to form a society, among the 10, one will think, one will execute, one will protect, and one will work. You will always find it. So, this tendency of human beings in divisions has been well documented in our Shastras. So what they did, they gave each one a title, a name. So they divided in what ways? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. When we say about these 4 titles, the present day status is very deplorable. We don't want that to happen again. But when it was conceived at that time, in Sri Krishna's time, and Krishna is going to tell, in 18th chapter is going to tell about this, at that time we shall see in detail. So, Krishna's time, society was well clearly marked. So each one has to do his duty. If you are born to a particular family, if you have the traits of another type, you are allowed to shift to another type. That was the reason that people born in a Kshatriya family could shift to become Brahmanas. Like Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was a king. He had a great force of arms. And then that king, finally he turned into a rishi. He became a Brahmana. It was the mobility between these four castes, as we call it, was very, very allowed, and it was their practice. Why the mobility comes? Where the mobility comes? If I am born to a Brahmana, I should remain as a Brahmana? No, not necessary. If you are born to a Brahmana, but then your tendencies are towards fighting, like Dronacharya. Dronacharya was a Brahmin, but he learned such a way, and he became the guru of all those Kshatriyas, and he taught them how to use their weapons. And he fought also in the great Mahabharata war. How many people he killed? So he became a Kshatriya. So you can choose. A Kshatriya can become a Brahmana. Likewise, a Brahmana can go into Kshatriya field. Likewise, Vaishya and Shudra. Later only, after the Muslims' invasion of India, slowly our caste system became rigid. And it became so rigid, it degenerated into having the feeling something is better than another. In ancient time, this was not there. The whole Vishwa is considered as a Purusha. There is a Purusha Sukta, great Purusha, Lord Vishnu. And the entire Vishwa, the entire universe, you conceive it and give it a human form. That Purusha, up to this, Brahmanas, from here to here, Kshatriyas, from here to feet, knees, Vaishyas, and from there to the feet, palms, feet or soul level, it is Shudras. It has been clearly divided. And when you say these four divisions, in your body, which one is important or higher than or lower something, can you consider? You have a body, a face, you have your body and feet and legs and without feet. Is your body is complete? No. So all the four are very important. All the four means all the four activities are important. Later, when it became degenerated, it became into such solidifying effect that certain castes are higher, certain castes are lower. And the caste system itself, this broad division was divided into each one. And once I was talking to a man in Madras, I was talking to him, and he was talking about his caste. And then he said, the another person about whom he was referring, that person also belongs to the same caste. So I just unknowingly I said, okay, you both belong to the same caste. He said, no, we belong to the same caste, but he is lower than mine. So I couldn't understand, how can being a same caste, being the same level, under that also you got a lower and higher. So that type of degeneration happened unfortunately for our country. And that degeneration was the main cause of our downfall. Swami Vimokshananda clearly diagnosed this. He has diagnosed very beautifully the degeneration of the caste system, which was originally based on the birth as well as the tendency of a person to a system is the bane of the society. And our society's downfall started the moment you started considering hereditary principles. So that is of course a different issue. But here what I want to say is these four types of levels had clear-cut definition and definite duties. So you take yourself, not stay in the present world, in the present age, but you just go back to that age where Krishna and Arjuna were. In that time, when the systems were definite, then Arjuna as a warrior class person, he had certain duties or not. You can understand that. He had certain duties. So the motivation, now Krishna takes up from the attacking him from the point of his duty. Okay, Atman, etc. over. That is our knowledge portion. But now come to the performance. A knowledge without concurrent performance is useless. A performance without the knowledge is taking you astray. So both are required. So knowledge must be required and performance must be required. So the performance tells what is going to speak in next 6 verses. So he is telling, hey, your duty is there as a Kshatriya. You are belonging to a warrior class. You have come here to battle, and how can you neglect your duty? Just imagine, we are also in different positions in the society. We are all been working in government departments, in our offices, etc. And being I am being a monk, I am the president. I have been appointed as president to a position. So I have got certain duties to discharge as a president. So I consult experts, what is to be done. And if I think that it is all right, then I do it. Even if the experts say that if I think that it should not be done, if it is little unethical, then I may not do it also. I said no. Because I have to combine my monkhood along with that what is the duty to be done. So this duty has to be done. In the practical world, the duty comes very predominant, and everyone, if he discharges his duty according to his tendency, according to the position he is placed in. Swami Ranganathan used to say, the government people, the Provident Fund department of the government, when he addressed them, he said, you are sitting on the table and you have got a pen and the file is there before you. That person, till yesterday he was working as your boss, he is now retired. Now he has to come and sit before you. And when the check is being ready and you give him, so 2% or 0.2% of his savings, you must get it under the table. You are asking your own boss. He was your boss yesterday. Now you are distributing the check to him and you are asking 0.2%, you must give him under the table. You see, we are not doing our duties. He said, how many people are suffering because pension is not coming at the right time. There may be a lot of expenses in the family and you are not releasing. Unless you get that bribe, you will not release. So you are waiting for the bribe to come to you. You are not doing your duty. If you have to see 10 cases per day, why not you dispose of 10 cases? If you do properly your duty, people will not suffer. Like that he used to give lectures to government officials. Very point blank he would say. So the duty performance, and that's why today Singapore is so high. Now in Myanmar I said, in the whole of Southeast Asia, the smallest country is Singapore. But it is a supremely developed country compared to all the countries here. It is because of the duty consciousness which was thrusted into all the Singaporeans. So here I find you are all very much very particular about doing your duty. So if this is allotted to your work, you will do it. So that's very great appreciable fact. So this is what he is now attacking Arjuna from the point of view of duty. So what he says in this verse, he says, Swadharmamapi chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi. Looking at your own duty as well, you should not waver. Waver means, na vikampitum. Kampita means shaking. Kampan means, shaking. When the earthquake comes, we say bhumi kampan. Kampan means shaking. That shaking comes. Vikampitum arhasi. You are already vikampitum, you are shaking. to fight. So he says you should not do that because it is Swadharma. Swadharma, one's own dharma. What is your dharma as a warrior? So he says there is nothing more welcome to a Kshatriya than righteous war. This is Dharma Yuddha. This is not a Yuddha for the sake of showing your prowess. It is not a Yuddha that is for taking aggrandizement that you are possessing another man's property. You know, some kings are there. Genghis Khan came all towards India, and that was an aggrandizement. He wanted to conquer. It was not a Dharma Yuddha. So like that many kings they do. But he is telling to Arjuna, this is not a Adharma Yuddha. This is Dharma. How it is Dharma Yuddha? What is due to you, Duryodhana refused to give. So you adopted many means, including sending me as your messenger. I went as your messenger and pleaded for even 5 villages. Okay, you don't need you full kingdom. Give 5 villages. He refused. So this war, you did not choose to do the war. It was brought upon you. So what duty is brought upon you by the force of circumstances, as you are a warrior, you should fight. What a beautiful way he says. Dharma Yuddha, Dharmyante Yuddha, Sreyaha, he says. Fighting a righteous war is supreme than an unrighteous war. If you have a greediness, I want to become emperor of India, I want to become emperor of this world. So all the next, because I got nuclear power, I go to and then wage a war with other countries and bring them under my control. I can't do because I'm a nuclear power. That is adharma. That is not dharma. This is dharma. Dharma yuddham is that yuddham which is imposed upon you and what is right for you. So it is a righteous war and that is supreme. That is the argument it is. Let us see in our next 6 verses what are the other arguments and motivation he is giving to Arjuna. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram